Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be part 2 of the Finding Yourself After Motherhood series, and the videos that are in this series are all going to kind of go together. They might overlap a little bit, but today's video is actually going to be talking about a postpartum personality slash a change in your likes and dislikes. And I've it took me a minute to figure out how I wanted to phrase this video, but the best way that I can describe this is my postpartum personality, I guess. And so what I mean by that is one of the things that I was truly not expecting to happen postpartum is there to be such a shift in like my core likes and dislikes. Like, I obviously knew that my priorities were going to shift, which is something that we will talk about later in the series. But what I wasn't expecting is that there were certain like pillars of my personality that aren't there and some new ones that are there, and even just like basic likes and dislikes. And I know that this happens because like when you're pregnant and when you're postpartum, like your hormones in your body go crazy. And I have not done extensive research on this by any means, but like I feel like my taste buds even are different postpartum, and there are certain parts of my emotion range is different than it used to be. One of the things that I honestly didn't really have before having my daughter is like my empathy scale was very like I just didn't really have a ton of empathy. It was never really in my personality. And like since having my daughter, like I now have that more for the people that were already in my life, but also like people that I don't know and strangers. And so like there's small things and there's bigger things that can kind of change in your personality once you have a baby. And so I think that this week I really just want to focus on taking the time to kind of figure out what you like and what you don't like this week, and kind of see the differences of what they are now versus what they used to be, because I feel like, at least in my case, there are some significant differences. And the more that I realized that that was going to stick around from here on out, the easier things got to kind of figure out how I wanted to proceed as a mom, as a person, now that I was a mom. Kind of taking this back to basics, a few of like the small things that I've noticed. Like I said, I mentioned my taste buds are different. So one of the things that I have enjoyed since having my daughter is actually trying things that in the past I didn't like, because there are a handful of things that I didn't like before that I do now. And I know that that doesn't seem like it would be a significant thing, but I love food. Like, food is one of my favorite things. Like, I like trying new foods. I like going out to eat a lot. And another thing is I used to be like known, like when I was younger, I was like known for my love of Mountain Dew. If you saw me, I typically had a Mountain Dew either in my hand or in my car waiting for me. I did most of college with a case of Mountain Dew in my trunk. That way, whenever I wanted one, I had one available. I mean, it was kind of, it was a problem. I can't stand the taste of Mountain Dew now. I have literally tried one in the last 2 years and I didn't even finish it. So just like weird things like that. But obviously it can be more substantial things too. Like, I honestly used to enjoy music a lot more than I do now. I still like music. I don't want to say I don't like music, but I really used to enjoy like following certain artists, getting their CDs, like knowing every song. And like now I could not tell you, well, besides Flowers by Miley Cyrus, I could not tell you any new music that has came out. And so that's just something that has shifted. And I don't know if it's specifically because of motherhood. Part of me thinks that it's because when I get moments where I would be listening to the music that I did before, I think that I just really enjoy the silence. I think, like, I don't know if that's really a thing, but I just don't listen to music like I used to. I would much rather listen to a podcast or listen to a book. Again, don't know if it's solely motherhood or if it's the fact that I'm older now. I have no idea. Other things in my personality that have changed since having my daughter is I am a lot more of a homebody now. A lot of the hobbies and likes that I have figured out that I like are all things that are around my house, as opposed to like I liked to go out. I liked to be with my friends. I liked to be doing things and seeing things. And not that I don't like those ever, but I definitely don't like those as much. So there's just lots of things that have changed. And the more that I've kind of taken the time to sort what those are, the better that I've felt personally. So I think that this week, my challenge to you is to just kind of figure out the likes and your dislikes and how those have changed between what you were like before you had a baby versus what you are postpartum. And again, this could probably be applied to anybody at any point in time because we do change in different seasons of life. It's not just motherhood that changes us. I've just noticed it since motherhood because that was a very drastic change for me. And I do know that like hormones and stuff change when you're pregnant. And so some of the stuff that I've noticed is because of that. Other things that have changed is along with like my maternal instinct for my daughter, I've decided that like I love keeping other things alive. So I went from before I had my daughter, I had one halfway dead houseplant, and now I have 40 something plants. So like just different things like that. Like it's like, I don't know if that has to do with like my maternal instinct or I don't really know where that came from, but it was literally like I had my daughter and 3 weeks later I was just buying houseplants. Like it's basically what I did. Besides like take care of my daughter and keep her alive, I just bought plants and took care of them while I was on maternity leave. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. But anyways, my challenge to you this week is to just like write a list of the things that you like and the things that you dislike, the things that you didn't like before that you might want to try again. Because like I said, there are tons of foods that I've tried again. I listen to different types of music than I did before. I used to be really into like pop, current music with some country as well. And now I honestly really like classical instrumental music. I think again, it's the peaceful like quietness of it. But then I'm really like hardcore listen to like Christian music now. It's just, when like I had my daughter, like my priorities shifted, my personality changed, and like that's just the stuff that I'm drawn to now that I wasn't before. So like my music selection has changed. The people that I follow online has changed. I haven't completely stopped following the people that I followed before, but I follow more family accounts now, or I found like I on purpose went out and found people who were content creators that had kids, specifically daughters around my daughter's age. I follow two that are within 4 months. They're 4 months ahead of where Aurora is. And like, I just really enjoy that because it's like I watch their videos or their vlogs or whatever, and like I see what is coming up, like what I'm going to run into next. Now, obviously, it doesn't have to be content creators. Like I know people in my real life that have kids around Aurora's age. Like I'm just using content creators specifically because it's a little bit easier to like unsubscribe to a content creator and follow a new one than it is to like cut a friend out because they're not at the same place in life as you. You know what I mean? But anyways, there's just so many things that have shifted. And so that is just, it's my challenge to you to just take some time on your own, write down some things that you like doing, some things that you dislike doing, items that you like, that you dislike, and just anything that you can think of that might be different now that you're a mom. And honestly, one of the things that I think is super helpful too is like in the last video, we talked about how I don't think that you can go back to who you were before. And I think that one of the problems that I ran into is I tried to get back into all of the things that I did before I had my daughter. And that was one of the big areas where I realized that what I enjoyed doing before her was not always going to be applied after her. So it doesn't have to be huge things. Like, I'm not saying that like these huge ginormous pillars in my life have changed, but noticing the small things that have changed. Like, I'm actually going to list here some of the things that I like and some of the things that I dislike, just to give you some ideas. And also because, like I said, I am going on this journey with you because I am ready to figure out who I'm going to be in motherhood and as a person. And obviously it will always continue to keep evolving, but if you don't take steps to figure out who that is, I just feel like you kind of float around in that lost space for a little too long. So these are the things that I have noticed. I would love to hear some of the things that you noticed down below, some of the things that you didn't expect and some of the things that you're surprised by. I would love to hear about those. Again, please subscribe so that you don't miss any of the other videos in this series. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.